Salutations. My name is Michael J. Turner, and you are shining with the Arizona sun. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here, which is wherever you're at. This is StereoPHX 888. I can't save you. I can only share with you how I'm saving myself. When I say that, I mean going from low vibe to high vibe, lead to gold, lowest version to highest version. My journey is what has been a journey of refinement that was meant for me. Nothing happened to me. So right now with this video, I'm gonna just share with you some things from my notes. These are some of the things that started to open my eyes, make me woke, if you will, and give me self-awareness and knowledge of self, and not feel so insignificant or random, because that's, I feel like, in the end, you wonder why things are the way they are. It's so you feel like you're just an insignificant, random occurrence. It can be very daunting, you know, like when you think about trying to get to be wealthy, trying to own a home, whatever. Some of the things on this material plane, right? And that's the idea. Because as long as that type of perspective is available for people and embraced by people, it makes all your dreams seem so far away. And I was a victim of this for a long time, big drug user. Went against the grain in a lot of ways because I felt like, what's the point? What's the point? With the way the world is, right? But I was my own worst enemy, and in any circumstance, there was no one more responsible for what happened for me than me. It was all of my own making, and it took me more than half of the time of the 18 years I spent using opioids to realize that I was the problem. And then after that, I still went on for quite a while. But recently, I've become completely opioid free. No Suboxone, no other medication, just cannabis periodically. But even with that, it's at a minimum basically right now. So like I said, I have these notes here that started to wake me up, that helped. The process of waking up came when I started to study, go into solitude, and be able to sit with myself and be by myself and do things and not need approval or compensation or gratification. Finding joy in things in life, in things I do. And also, so with something like this, with these notes, is part of what's known as synchronicity, because I did this last year at the beginning of the year. I guess you could say I spent about 8 months studying stuff here and there, whatever, in the morning. Generally, I would always try to study at 3:30 in the morning if possible for a few hours, because your mind is in theta mode, which makes it really easy to absorb information and set things into your subconscious mind without much effort. So when I had to go to jail for 5 months, just not too long ago, I was able to regurgitate a lot of the information that I had consumed. So the synchronicity here is that this is here now, and I was just writing stuff down, but like it turns out, and I built a whole, it's like a guidebook to my own salvation, like to saving myself. So what I'm saying is that my present is an accumulation of my past, right? But now I'm sowing seeds, that I'm doing things that work out for me later, or like there's signs and indications that I'm on the right path, or things come into my circumference for a reason. They come into my circumference, and then like I where I live, in the backyard at my family's home, right? I built this situation. I built this. So I spent time and energy on that, but now it's here. It's established. I built a garden. Now that's there. I built a workout situation outside. Now those things are there so I can have solace and be in a peaceful arena, surrounded by the resources, surrounded by the means to continue my own ascension. Working out is an essential part of it. Like, we're talking mind, body, and spirit, right? So my frame needs to be durable in order to traverse the path. But also, it's so easy to raise my level of consciousness with just a few sets and change my internal state, which is why I put it there, because sometimes I don't need to go do a whole routine. I just need to get out of my mind. I need to clear my mind. I need to ground back out, balance back out. So I use working out, not always sheerly for health, well-being, and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, but as a hack, as a body hack. So yeah, the synchronicity, I made these notes, and excuse me, I should never be doing that right now. Anyway, but even, see, that's a confirmation, y'all, that the spiritual warfare is real. You know? Because I'm starting to dial back in. So, anyway, the synchronicity of me doing this without knowing exactly that everything that I would be writing in here would be significant and be, basically coincide with what I'm trying to do now, which is still provide a means to heal through from trauma, addiction, and a low version of anyone's self, and raise up to a higher version, transcend this reality, and ascend to a new level, right? And I can only do that by sharing with you how I've done it for myself. And my reality is different than it was last year. I feel different, I see different, I hear different. So, with that being said, as we move forward, I'm going to open this book up. I'm just going to start at the beginning here. So, I wrote Life Journal of illiteratory and verbal aggregates, love, consciousness, and awareness, and technique for alchemizing life spell work. Okay, Life Journal of illiteratory and verbal aggregates, and technique for alchemical life spell work, love, consciousness, and awareness. I am StereoPHX. My name is Michael J. Turner. Right, okay. And then I had written these little lyrics like a nice time before I started using this as a notebook for my studies. The lyric goes like this: "This is a page from a warrior's journal. The ink made of tears, the pages formed from my fears bound by our endless inequity. Who wants to get it? In my palm there lied a one-way ticket to all paid expenses. Voyage to the afterlife, seek witness. No plus ones on the guest listed. Just you and me and all our glory. I'ma hold it down for every category. With an idea flowing, I put life into motion. This is a page from a warrior's journal. The ink made of tears, the pages formed from my fears bound by our endless inequity. Who wants to get it? In my palm there lied a one-way ticket to all paid expenses, voyage to an all paid expenses, voyage to the afterlife. Seek witness, no plus ones on the guest listed. Just you and me in all our glory. I'ma hold it down for every category. With an idea flowing, I put life into motion. Okay. So, the idea, one of the big things that I've come to understand is the power behind your subconscious mind. It records everything and takes things literally. So you can actually lie to it. When it comes to health matters, you can lie to it. It's all mind over matter, right? It's all mind over matter. But when they say you only use 10% of your brain, that's the conscious mind. 10% of your fucking mind, that's not that much. And we only see a very small percentage of what's actually there. Okay? But anyway, so the power behind the subconscious mind and all the information, sounds, sights, symbols, and things that we take in that affect it and create these false beliefs that lie down in the recesses of our mind that we can't. It's because we can't just go in there and like do anything like that. But those things grow like weeds, and they actually shape. I came to understand that they shape my reality. So if I'm believing something wholeheartedly, because believing something means that like, yo, this is what I know what it is. I know this is what it is. So with that type of situation, if it's something that's limiting me and keeping me from reaching a higher version of myself, then that's a problem. So in the morning, we are in theta mode, which is a frequency, okay? A frequency, right? And it's also like your heart rate's a certain way, and your body's tuned up a certain way at that moment. Just like there's delta and I don't know if it's gamma, but what I know is this is the thing. It's time to program ourselves during the theta mode. Like I said, you can receive information, absorb and retain information with little or less effort. Okay? Decide what you are not going to do. /feel. Decide what you're not going to do /feel. Okay? What you meditate on and why. You can't let the things you have already been programmed to do or believe take over. My handwriting's, it was what it was. I was on one too while I did this, but anyway. You can't let the things that you've already been programmed to do or believe. I'll figure out what the fucking word is. Take over. So anyway, this is where it's like, have an open mind, be childlike, be enthusiastic, and the limitations are, the only limitations are the ones that we set on ourselves. Okay? Forgive and let go of past emotions. We are like a Wi-Fi. Open to connect. Open to connect. Inward changes. Nervous system and immune system. Elevated emotion realized and maintained emotional state. Emotion. This is a big one. Energy in motion. Energy charged by an emotion, which moves us. Okay. The environment can make the emotion if we decide, but the emotion can change the environment. So it's kind of like when you go somewhere and there's a vibe, right? And that creates an emotion within you. So now your environment, whether it was actually treacherous and dangerous or not, has created that in your reality. Or if you go somewhere and your family or friends, they're having a fight and it's all down and awkward mood, and the environment feels that way, and you come in and you're able to uplift the whole situation by being funny or being kind of like rapping, doing the thing to lift that. You just changed the environment, literally. So deep, right? Okay. Intention / emotional state. How we think and how we feel changes our life. I mean, come on. Look, man. Even if this didn't deal with manifestation and the aggregation of our reality, like letting our reality aggregate based on our internal state, if you look at it from a logical, literal point of view, it says how we think and how we feel changes our life. So, I mean, bottom line is, man, you can't get around the fact that how you think and how you feel totally determines your day to day. Because we only torture ourselves, or we only make things as difficult as we want to make them. So, change your mind, revitalize your mind, and your reality will follow. Change this. This is why my life is changing now, because I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago, a year ago, probably not even 6 months ago. And what's interesting to me about that is I was the same person for like 20 years. I mean, very slightly I would change, but there was no intention behind it. I came to understand that I had to be willing to sacrifice myself, as in certain aspects of myself, things within my life that don't serve me actually for my higher purpose, depending on whatever that is, or whatever I want, whoever I want to be. If I'm lying to myself, I'm lying to myself. That was the night I had the funeral for my old self, when I realized that I had been lying to myself for a long time, because I don't actually want the things that come with the lifestyle of drug addiction, jails, institutions, and street life. I just wanted to dip in and out. But like, what the crazy thing is, it is inevitable that you will inherit or experience those lower vibrational things, because you can't lie to the universe. Like, when you communicate through your thoughts, emotions, and actions, it's like, regardless of what I'm trying, what type of lie I'm trying to feed myself, I'm communicating to the universe all day, every day. So, and what I do by myself has more of an impact. You know what I'm saying? That's what's important, and that's what matters more than what type of front I put on for somebody else. So, I decided, man, who do I want to be? Who am I really? Do I like this person? Do I like what I'm contributing to the world? Do I, care about myself? So we're already approaching 20 minutes. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up here with a few more things. And this is just the tip of the iceberg from this, right? So I'm going to be using this to create a treatment, a catalyst for people's personal transformation, and just basically changing overall. I call it abstract personal development. It's called abstract personal development because it's a conglomeration of things that are not the conventional methods. And but I had to find these things for myself, so I thought, man, I need to make something for all the people that can't get into the rooms of rehab and find that that thing that makes them change, and all that stuff like that, because it's staggering when you come to understand the percentages and all that stuff, and like how many people are in a desperate, hopeless state, right? And my changes came gradually over time, but if I put something together that can make someone basically be getting high but be studying this shit, and like at some point they're just not going to want to get high no more based on what I'm putting together for them. So yeah, here we go. Last thing. A maintained emotional state will create biochanges as the body cannot tell the difference. The body cannot tell the difference whether it's real or not. If you sit around and cry all day, your body's going to be reeling from that. It's like, that's why virtual reality could be what it is and all that stuff. Video games and all that, like, or you ever watch a fucking movie and be so into it that you have a reaction when something happens in the movie and you react out here, or I mean, there's other examples as well. Like, you can literally go. You ever be so deep in thought that you're like staring off into space, and then but your eyes were open, right? But you're thinking, and then you come back and you're like, oh shit, where was I? You were thinking, right? Deep in thought. You were in there. You were in there on that different plane of consciousness, different plane of existence. Because you've got maybe I'll leave you with this. This is the last thing. You got the 5. So the number 5, right, is indicative of the physical plane, because, well, you have 5 fingers, 5 elements, right, and you also have that's the main thing. Perception of the spiritual through the physical. You have 5 fingers, okay, 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses, 5 holes in your body. And so, coinciding with that, there's also 5 elements. Now, you may think that you know what the elements are, and you may know most of them, but I guarantee you, you're not thinking about the ether. The ether, okay? I have another book right here. Alright, it's this one. Boom. Let's go. Bear with me. I'm getting accustomed to my own notebooks and where everything is within them. Universal laws. Alright, so you got the mental plane, the astral plane, the etheric plane, and then the physical plane, which is where we are. And the saying goes, as within, so without, as above, so below. So on the mental plane, where you were most likely at when you were so deep in thought that you didn't even know you were there, and you woke up, or you came back to, and you were like, oh, well, I've been sitting here this whole time, what's been happening? That's the mental plane, okay, where ideas come down from. Things, thought forms are initiated there. They eventually come down into the physical. Like nothing, like we take action here, right? But literally nothing is initially on the, you know, if you want to make a sandwich, it's not like the sandwich is just here. You got to think, you come up with the idea, you plan it out, and then you go do it. Simple as that. But what we don't realize is how deep that in itself is. So it lets you know that everything starts up here. And if your imagination has been trashed, well, then it's already a disadvantage. Right. Physical 5 elements, the slowest vibration. Yes, the 3D. You cannot see in, left, right, up, down, front, back, right? But when they say look inside yourself, as a common phrase used to motivate, look inside yourself. Literally, man, when you go to meditate, a technique that you could consider implementing is you roll your eyes up towards the center of your head with your eyes closed, right? So you're literally looking inside. Okay. So you got the 5 physical elements: water, earth, fire, air, and the ether. The ether. Which, let's see if I have something on that right now. The ether. What the ether is, like, I feel like the ether is, shit. The astral plane could be the imagination. But, yeah. It's like the spirit, if you will, okay? The spirit that is everywhere all the time. Ether connects for the physical. Ether. Stuff shows up there first before the physical, and the physical body is an exact copy of your etheric counterpart. Molecules are farther apart, vibrating higher. It restores and rebuilds the physical body, your etheric body. Chakras are etheric. Sense organs which attune to us, the 4th dimension. They are in the etheric body. So, you know, if you don't know haven't realized that you're in there, in that meat suit, your human body, that this isn't actually you or me, but I'm in here. So that lets me know that the physical realm that I'm in right now is just that, a physical realm of things that have been materialized, or as in metals, the 7 metals, 7 days of the week, 7 chakras, 7 trumpets, 7 yada yada yada. Things have been materialized here, but that's not it. That's not all of it, because I am a electromagnetic being of light that is energy and will move on, you know, depending on the work that I do for my own transcendence and ascension and transformation, because the greatest work is you. The greatest work is me, myself, like my personal development, and that's the hardest work as well. I mean, it would be relatively easy. Maybe it would be more difficult for me, but maybe, I don't know, difficult or easy, going through life, never looking at myself and just thinking just disregarding any type of sign or omen or thing that's indicating that I need to do some looking within. So, yeah. Fire, hot, or earth, fire, water, air, ether. You got cold, hot, dry, wet. Yeah. astral plane, fourth dimension, dream world. Okay, the dream world, thought forms, only seen through the mind's eye. And there's a higher, middle, and lower astral plane. Once again, astral plane, the fourth dimension, dream world, thought forms, only seen through the mind's eye. Okay? So you got thought forms, right, that have been brought down from the mental plane, and things that we feed with our emotions and thoughts. These thought forms, like the more I think about drugs, the more I feed that entity that's on the astral plane that came down basically from my own mind. It's a spiritual war, it's an internal war, yo. Right, continuous, entertaining certain thoughts create entities on the astral plane that will lie in the ether. So they're created on the astral plane, and they lie in the ether. The ether, okay, yeah, the ether. And what they're saying right now. I keep talking about the astral plane. Okay, because the ether is the one that's like right before the physical realm where we are now. So the ether is it's almost like I said, it's that bridge. Let's keep going. You got the mental plane, the mind, thoughts alone exist here. The most causal. It affects all other planes. It's fluid and dreamy. As above, so below, as within, so without. Distinct of your outer voice / inner voice. Like there's a voice inside our head, right? Or multiple voices. Because I can hear I feel like my body speaks to me, you know, like when it was dope sick, when it wanted to keep getting drugs, it would be telling me. Or those were those spiritual entities I fed on those other planes. But the outer voice and the inner voice, and it's also, I want to emphasize this. We are living in the effect, like what we see every day when we walk around that we think is this so like, so impressive, is the effect. The causal plane is in here. So we're living the aftermath at all times. So it absolutely matters and is highly significant what we think, where we put our focus and attention, and how high our self-worth is, how high my self-worth is. Alright. So I went way beyond what I wanted to, or had the intention to, but I think it was solid. More on these type of things, how I'm saving myself and raising my vibration and frequency, going from low vibe to high vibe to find my ultimate purpose and highest version, coming soon. And also I'm going to be doing the chapters or lessons from A Course in Miracles. I'm going to try to start putting out one a day. I'm going to do it. Alright, so thank you for being you. Love, peace, and hair grease. Until the next episode. Laters.